CNBC had a real good article talking about wealthy Americans that are still ducking the IRS crackdown on non-filers. This will blow your mind when you find out the incomes that some of the people are making, and they're not even filing their tax returns. I mean, it's incredible. Anyway, they came out with this. This just came out, and they were talking about tens of thousands of wealthy Americans are now not complying with recently revamped IRS efforts to get them to file tax returns. They went on to say that they continue to pursue these folks. An IRS official told CNBC, this is not work that we will let go. Now, a quirk in the federal tax law may be insensitizing wealthy people who want to avoid taxes to simply not file their returns. And they were talking about here that tens of thousands of wealthy Americans are not complying with recently revamped Internal Revenue Service efforts to get them to file tax returns according to data obtained exclusively by CNBC. Now, a quirk in the federal tax law may be insensitizing people, wealthy people who want to avoid paying taxes to simply not file their returns. That's because it's a felony to file false tax returns, but only a misdemeanor not to file a return at all. Now, due to a limited IRS and Department of Justice resources to pursue misdemeanor violations, a person who does not file a return is unlikely to face prosecution. As a result, many millionaires could simply be taking their chances, betting that they will face few consequences for not filing their tax returns. Now, in early 2024, the IRS began an effort to contact people it calls high-income non-filers and urge them to file returns to the tax agency. Now, they wanted to say that they've made progress. An IRS official told CNBC, explaining that high net worth cases can take time to process. That said, there still remains a lot of work. They wanted to say that we continue to pursue these folks. This is not work that we will let go. But I'm going to tell you something on these next paragraphs they talk about here. They are letting it go. It's amazing. They're hitting way under 1%. But they're talking about here that renewed investigation. And now notices were mailed in February in 125,000 cases, targeting wealthy taxpayers who had not filed tax returns since 2017. These were cases in which the IRS had received third-party information, such as through forms like W-2s and 1099s, indicating these people received income, listen to this, of $400,000, more than $400,000, but failed to file tax returns. Now, prior to the Inflation Reduction Act in 2022, the IRS non-filer program had run sporadically since 2016, but severe budget and staff limitations made it impossible to pursue many of these cases, the cases the agency was talking about here. Also, folks, if you can do us a big favor, we don't monetize our channel. If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up if you like our videos. And also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button right on your screen right here. You'll get new videos automatically as they come out. It helps in the algorithm of our channel, and it helps us grow in our business. Folks, if you can do this one favor for us, we'd really appreciate it. And also, pass these videos around to your friends. And I would like to hear from you. If you got a question or comment, put it below. And if you want to get your income taxes to zero, how to get a second passport as quick as 4 to 8 months, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and ask for some help. Now, they went on to say here that with the new law's funding, the IRS now has the resources to do this core tax administration work, it said, and it began its efforts to identify the non-filers in the fall of 2023. And according to a September report, during the first 6 months of this initiative, nearly 21,000 of these wealthy non-filing taxpayers filed returns, resulting in an additional $172 million in taxes being paid. Now, in the 3 months since the September report, the IRS official told CNBC the number of non-filers who have filed returns jumped from 21,000 to 26,000, and the total tax revenue collected from these filers had risen to $292 million. Now, some of the taxpayers who received formal alerts known as CP59 notices had not filed returns for multiple years. So the total number of delinquent taxpayers is likely smaller than the total number of notices that were actually mailed out. Now, the IRS said it believes the total amount of income from these taxpayers is more than $100 billion. Now, at the minimum, the agency expects that hundreds of millions of dollars are owed by these same people in back taxes. Now, at least $1 million in income they're talking about here now. Listen to this. Yet, despite additional resources, the IRS still has not had significant success in persuading the very wealthy to file tax returns according to the data, which was provided to CNBC by an aide to a Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden, a Democrat from Oregon. Now, as of August, only 5,460 of the roughly 25,000 highest income non-filers who received the CP59 warning notices this year, typically those with more than, listen to this, 1 million in suspected income had filed returns. That's incredible. Now, as so far, at least it does not appear that many of these very wealthy non-filers are facing legal consequences for their failure to meet their civic and legal obligations. According to the Senate aide, the IRS told the committee it was premature to report how many of these non-filers have been referred to the Department of Justice for criminal investigations. But as of October the 28th, 2024, the IRS Criminal Investigation Unit had just 62 open tax investigations in which an individual from the list of 25,000 very wealthy non-filers was a subject. Now, that equals an investigation rate of approximately, listen to this, equals an investigation rate of approximately 0.25%. That's incredible. That's, oh man, that's why so many people are not filing. Now, in an email to the Senate committee that was provided to CNBC, the IRS explained that this relative lack of enforcement against these thousands of non-compliant millionaires. Now, both the Department of Justice and the IRS Criminal Investigation have limited resources. In most cases, those resources are used to investigate and prosecute felonies, which are basically people that are, filing, but they're filing false returns, not the ones that are non-filers. And they talk about here that therefore the likelihood of criminal investigation and prosecutions of non-filers is significantly low, the agency wrote. Now, non-filers prosecuted for a misdemeanor violation have a low probability of receiving a meaningful sentence of incarceration, which counters the agency's mission to initiate criminal investigation that have the highest likelihood of substantial deterrent effect, the IRS told the Senate panel. Now, listen to this now, these are ones that are not even filing, not net worth of $5 million, but incomes of $5 million and above. This is incredible. There are loads of people, thousands, that have incomes of $5 million and above that aren't even reporting their income taxes. But it talks about here, some of the individuals who are not filing tax returns are spectacularly wealthy, according to the data provided to CNBC. Of the roughly 25,000 wealthy non-filers identified by the IRS, nearly 2,000 of them likely had more than $5 million in income in any given year, not assets, we're talking about income, for which they did not file a return. Now, in the approximately 10 months since these taxpayers making $5 million plus receiving their warning notices, just 551 of them have filed returns according to the data given to the Senate. Gee, they must not be following up. This is incredible. Now, they're talking about felony proposals now. According to the Treasury Department, one way to increase federal revenues would be to increase the criminal penalties on chronic non-filers. Now, Treasury has proposed that the misdemeanor offenses of certain non-filers should be reclassified as felonies. Now, under current law, a person who owes federal taxes and fails to file a tax return can only be charged with a misdemeanor in most cases. If they're convicted, the misdemeanor offenses is punishable by a term of imprisonment of not more than 1 year and a fine of not more than $250,000 or $200,000 in the case of a corporation or both. And it says up to 1 year. You're going to have some of these people that don't spend any time at all. And that's the ones that they even go after. But according to the Treasury's new proposal, any person who willfully fails to file timely required tax returns in any 3 years out of 5 and whose unpaid tax bill in that 5-year period adds up to at least $250,000 US would be subject to a new aggravated failure to file criminal penalty. Now, in these cases, the offense would be classified as a felony and would be punishable by a term of imprisonment of no more than 5 years, a fine of up to $250,000 or $500,000 in the case of a corporation or both. Now, non-compliance by high-income taxpayers has a significant corrosive effect on tax administration and collection that they talk about here now. Treasury wrote this in a proposal to reclassify the offenses. Now, the department noted that wealthy people who do not pay their taxes shift the burden of financing the federal government to other taxpayers. Increasing criminal penalties for high-income people will willfully and repeatedly do not file a tax return would provide a more effective deterrent to such blatant tax evasion, encourage voluntary compliance, and help those help to close the tax gap, the IRS wrote. So it looks like, man, this thing's really gotten out of control. Anyway, folks, if you want to know how to legally get around high income taxes or how to get a second passport as quick as 4 to 8 months, go to our website, www.citizenshipquickly.com, and just ask for some help. And folks, if you want to get more videos like this automatically, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to the right of your screen. It also helps us. We don't monetize our channel, and it helps the algorithm of our channel if you do that. And also give us a thumbs up if you like our video. That also helps the algorithm. And if you want to know more on this, again, just drop us a line. We'd be glad to get back with you. There's a WhatsApp number here on the screen. I look forward to talking to you on the next video. Take care.